Hey there, comic book fans. I am back from the comic shop again this week, and it was a pretty darn big week for me as I got 9 new comics. Plus, of course, I got a couple of free things here to show you. The first is the new comic shop news. It's like another Fred Hembeck cover on that one. All the different news from different companies. I'll thumb through that and give it a look. I haven't seen one of those in a few weeks, so this came out last week, but I didn't pick it up just because, I didn't pick it up. It's just a free World of Krypton tie-in with the TV show, and it's a reprint of the John Byrne and Mike Mignola World of Krypton story. First of 4 issues by Byrne, Mignola, and Bryant. And I don't think I've ever read this. I think this is some early Mike Mignola artwork. So, they're giving that out for free, so I'll give it a look. And next we have Berlin by Jason Lutz, issue number 22. An issue of this only comes out once in a blue moon. Once every year or two. But I think it's finishing off with issue 23 or 24, I remember reading. I can't remember which, but this is an excellent series. It's been going on since I think 1996, issue 1 came out. I did a video of this last year or some time ago on all the issues I reread. It takes place in Berlin in the early 30s, and it's about, people just trying to navigate the clash between the socialists and the Nazis. So it's good stuff. I enjoy it. Kind of slice of life from a time and place in life where things were not always so good. And next we have Outcasts, issue number 34, Invasion, part 3 of 5, Kirkman as Aceta with Brightweiser. Our Outcast people, we just had a dramatic car crash at the end of last issue. The demon-like creatures are kind of consolidating their hold on this town or area, and our Outcast and his allies are trying to figure out what to do, and they're holding up in a barn, and they got a little house. The looks like they're building a wall. The preacher kind of got his own. He used to have a church. Now he kind of has a barn now that I think people were going there and looking for him for some spiritual guidance. So as it's all about figuring out stuff and figuring out what this invasion. They're not technically demons. I think there's some kind of other dimensional creatures, though. So we're getting more into the story here and fighting. And the next thing we have here is Marjorie Liu and Sana Takeda's Monstrous, issue number 15. Some pretty big-eyed artwork. That's the fox creature. There's some half human, half animal things in this book, and there's a lot of sides. It's not just 2 sides fighting in this book. There's a lot of sides fighting. And that's our lead character who just got strapped into this giant machine where she's trying to save some city. And she's got some monster living in here. That's the fox woman. Ah, man, there's so many. There's about 4 or 5 different political factions in this book. One of them is the cats. They're just cats running around. They're doing their own thing, these cat wizards. There's the little fox child who she doesn't have her own thing going on, but the half animal people do. They're in the so I don't know. There's gonna be a big war brewing in Monstrous sooner or later. It's been all building up to a big war. I just noticed those fox spirits around her. I didn't even see those when I looked at it before. Very political book, very pretty book. High fantasy and politics mixed together. That's Monstrous. And next comes Kill or Be Killed, issue number 17. And it was strange because on Twitter this week, I think it was Sean Phillips tweeted something out about, or tweeted a link out about issue 20 being the last issue of Kill or Be Killed. Which is strange because this, in the beginning, Ed Brubaker was saying how this is being written as an open-ended monthly comic. And now it's kind of ending sooner than the comics he had plans for how they were going to end. But it's been excellent. I'm not sure how they're going to wrap this all up in 4 more issues, or if they're gonna, if they'll just keep it open ended. We'll have to see. There's our hero in the snow. Couple of nor'easters here in the four nor'easters here in the East Coast over the last 4 weeks. So we know all about this flying snow. But anyway, KillorBeKilled is excellent. Everything Brubaker and Phillips do has been excellent. So if this ends with issue 20, as they say it's going to be, I'll be on board for whatever else they got. Speaking of ending, here comes the last issue of Department H. Issue number 24. This has, been a 24-issue series all along, so it's not unexpected. But, it's the end. Been reading it for 2 years, so it's always a little teary-eyed when you come to the end of something. But we found out who the killers were last issue, who she thought the killers were. And this issue, I don't even want to open it up because I have to see, who survives and who doesn't. So, Matt and Charlene Kint's department. Let's open it up. There's always a wraparound. There we go. A tattooed hand grabbing her by the... I can only assume this is... her name flies right out of my head now. Our lead character who we last left at the end of last issue trying to make it to the surface and breathe some air. She was oh so close. But we'll see. I assume she's going to make it. Otherwise, the whole world will never find out who killed her dad. But we'll see with this issue. And next we have Usagi Yojimbo, The Hidden. Issue 1 of 7. Stan Sakai. But note, they did something smart with this. As annoyed as I am that I think they're going to be releasing Usagi Yojimbo as a series of miniseries now, they actually kept the same number in the indicia. Volume 3, number 166. Number 232 in a series. Oh, that's new. So this is... So since they're keeping the same number in the indicia, this is technically, Usagi Yojimbo 166. So it automatically goes on my pull list. What's annoying about relaunching series is they come up as different SKUs and I would have to remember to put Usagi Yojimbo on my pull list every time they relaunched it. But now I don't, because they're actually keeping it. Though the number on the cover is different, the number on the cover is new, 1 of 7. The actual number inside isn't, so it stays on my pull list automatically, and that just makes life easier for me. So I'm glad that they did that. For us longtime fans will know what issue number it really is just by looking on the inside. And I don't know if a relaunch is really going to get more Usagi fans on board, but hey, jump on board if you wanted to try Usagi before now, because there's issue 1 of 7 of The Hidden, and you'll know exactly when stories are starting and stopping now. Man, these comics just keep coming this week. Stray Bullets, Sunshine and Roses, number 33. Kretschmeyer with his broken hand. He actually... as part of the story, a few issues ago, he got really beat up or something, and these characters are always going through hell. And he went on the run before, so people wouldn't catch up with him before his shoulder surgery could be done. So he's got one almost dead arm, and he's trying to get along with just one arm, but it's a pain. So we'll have to see what's next for our band of intrepid criminals. They're all kind of low-level criminals. These ones right here stole from that was Kretschmeyer. Kretschmeyer's gang got stolen, but it really wasn't his gang. He hooked onto the Baltimore gang, the Spanish Steve gang, right? Spanish Scott gang. And our lead characters ripped off the Spanish Scott, and now everybody's... Oh, man. They've been plotting and planning and screwing each other over and being violent and killing people for 33 issues in this storyline now. So you never know what's coming next with Stray Bullets, so give it a look. And look what we got here. Southern Cross issue number 14 is back. Cloonan, Bellinger, and Lowridge. That's a weird cover. If I'm not mistaken, when we last left our people, they found their way to the Southern Cross, where the ship, this first story arc, the Southern Cross spaceship was lost. Second story arc, they were on a mining colony where the Southern Cross spaceship was supposed to show up. Now our third story arc, some people from the mining colony have tried to find the Southern Cross. And they finally did. Oh, there's all sorts of weird alien, multi-dimensional stuff going on. And they found it, and it's like a ghost ship. Oh, look at that. That must be some sort of ghost. And there's something evil on board, and they're trying to figure it out. And meanwhile, our heroes got on board, and some villains from the mining colony got on board too. So that's all going to come to a head this issue, and I can't wait to jump back into it. And our final comic of the week, Savage Dragon 232. This came out 2 weeks ago. My shop was shorted. Enter the Wraith. Eric Larson's Savage Dragon. So I've been waiting a couple of weeks to read this one. Eric Larson, Fernan Delgado on the letters, Nikos Koudis on the colors. All sorts of stuff going on here. But they've moved up to Canada. They're starting a reality show. A Savage Dragon and his wife reality show. Meanwhile, he's got 3 little superpowered kids, and there's his wife right there, and she is not superpowered, so she has a hard time with these kids. He's still fighting people. People showed up to there's a good punch. People showed up to kill him. I think last issue he almost died. This is Malcolm Dragon. He's taken over the book from his father a couple of years ago, and it's always fun. The Savage Dragon is always a fun book. In the last couple of years, there's been a lot of adult stuff in it too. So be wary if you don't like some sex and nudity going on in your book, because there's some going on in Savage Dragon. But I dig it. Finally, we'll give you a look at some background art, which I just happened to find in a standing file from 2/1914. This is. So what is that? 4 years old now. It's just a marker drawing I did of some faces, of a face. The other one was another face. Oh boy! And I mean, just sometimes I just draw myself some colorful faces. What's this one? 1/1714. Strength to Strength. The other one didn't have a name on it. Kind of like this one. I like the sharp teeth, the almost eyes. Did this one have a name on it? I didn't notice. Oh, it did. Ranger Motion. I name these things randomly, so the name doesn't always have to have something to do with, just notice. Look, I do lots of little strokes with the marker. I sometimes use it like a paintbrush and use it directionally. That's part of drawing. You can see you kind of go in the direction of the form. I even went in there with some white charcoal to put highlights in. There you go, just a little look at a couple of marker drawings I did a couple of years ago, and you guys all have a good week out there.